hosted by Celeste and the Lion. I'm the Lion. Celeste is not joining us tonight in a way. He's in traffic. He's heading home for Independence Day. But I have a special guest with me, sitting here with me. It's someone we've talked about a couple of times in the podcast on past episodes that has done what we talk about of meditation and has mostly completed it. And we call him Shanzi, and we'll discuss why that is.
Hi, I am the one that he's speaking of. And, Shanzi happened to come to me while I was here visiting, and it happened to just be an experience where I didn't know that I was into this spirituality, and I didn't know about what he knows about it. So we came down and put it together, and I got to travel to some places so deep within myself where I was visualizing just whatever came to my mind, and I started to see in like this green like mist abyss, really, and I started to see the features of tall grass in front of me, like something walking through it, like with left right coming through the bushes. And it was like I was coming out through this gorilla, and it was really crazy to me, because if I were to look at my features and look at how I'm built, I'm definitely that creature or that animal, no doubt about it. And there's still some untapped potential there on how to reach deeper. I just want to get to that point where, just that untapped potential. And a crazy part about this is Celeste isn't here this evening, and we ended up looking on my phone as we were getting hooked up to the podcast, and I look up to the left corner of the phone, and there's Celeste. And it was about 2 minutes after we were talking about why he couldn't join us tonight. And it was like, I was such in shock. I look over at the Lion, and I was in such excitement to see how, this was my first podcast on here. And I ended up seeing how Celeste could be there. And like, it was just a random ad. But the name of the ad it was Celeste. And that let us know that it was time to open up and to engage. And, with that, I'm going to let the Lion take over. But that's just a little bit about me and who I am.
So I'm setting up the podcast, as he said, and he shows me this ad on his phone, and it's one that it changes. And it said Celeste, spelled exactly correct, and it was in green. And if you go back to past episodes, you'll hear that we talk about the green pastures, which is alpha vibration, which is in meditation, which Shanzi here, the gorilla, that I took him into in meditation, and took him into the blood of Christ, which is theta, where he met his animal self. And I think the Shanzi name is his whole soul self, but we haven't gotten that completed yet or completely confirmed. But so anyway, Celeste shows up. He couldn't be here tonight, so he's here, and the name was in green, so he's in the green pastures. So shout out to Celeste. You are here with us, even though you're probably in traffic.
Right.
So it was really, really awesome. And so that just told us that we're going to be here. And I want to shout out real quick to Mr. Israel, our rhino friend, who did this meditation also, that asked for some energy toward him this last week. So I've been doing that. And I hope you're feeling better. If not, we're still working on it. So we're going to kind of just go on the fly. We don't have headphones on or anything. So we're just sitting here together, and we're going to kind of talk about the life changes that are going on since the meditation, just to share that. And because it's something that we talk about, that it's very important for people to learn how to meditate and have those life-changing experiences to find out what you really are. Because the last time we did the meditation twice, and we may do a little bit right now. Last time we did, he got the name Shanzi, we asked for that, but also he was going higher. He was going further. He was feeling things that were really huge. I don't remember the word you said, like really expansive or something like that. But still seeing like a spot that he's not able to get into yet. And so it's really cool. And so maybe we'll do a little bit of search on that this evening. And we're going to do kind of a short show, not a real long one. So anyway, yes, thank you. Thank you, Israel. Happy 4th. Happy Independence Day here in America. Good day for this.
I'd like to say, like, since I exist, like the second that you're put into this world, right? You exist, and every single thing that we've all gone through is, for me, it's always been like a quest for knowledge and wisdom. And I used to have drugs and alcohol be a part of my past, and it would block that flow. It would block my natural spirit. The sunlight of the spirit, per se, would get blocked, and it would minimize where I could go inside myself. But I knew that there was a better way to live. There was a better way out there.
Yes.
And I fought so many times to get through those dark days. And there would always be someone in my life that would show up. And at the time, I didn't realize how to use those people, because they're there not to be used, but they're there to teach you, to learn.
Yes. And they do, even though you're not aware of it, they're still teaching you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's still a good teach. And actually, the name P. Temp on the board here, Israel is his name, is his soul name.
Oh, really?
And he's a rhinoceros. And he had the same, but from, of course, his life is different. So he has a different experience, but he comes from the same thing. And I'm sorry you can't call in tonight if you felt like it, Israel, because we're not doing headphones tonight. But anyway, had that same experience, but he didn't have that kind of issue. He's got physical stuff going on and stuff that we're working with.
Right.
But anyway, so that's what he said. He said, well, I've known this my entire life. I just didn't, it's something like, he'll have to help me with this on how he said it, but something like, I've known this my entire life. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah. It's like a familiar feeling.
Yeah.
It's familiar. And then once you kind of get through whatever it is you have to go through or who you have to meet, you do want to get to your true natural being, because it's more than just this body, like the spirit in the body. It's so powerful, and it's a source that can go everywhere, and it's everything. But it's like, I just it's crazy because I think that a lot of anxiety and stress and the pressures, like if we're in control of ourselves, but these thoughts that racing rampantly, like worries, you're like, man, if I could learn how to just control how I think, feel, and act without the impulse of a moment taking me out of this existence, because it's easy, and the people around us too. There's a lot of pressure sometimes you feel, and it's like,
your ego doesn't like you waking up and taking control of yourself, because it wants to do those things that it was always doing.
Yeah. Oh, that ego.
And so the ego is really tough. And of course, he's going through that, of course, but doing really good. And I just wanted to say, the first time we did the meditation, he found the gorilla. When he opened his eyes and looked at me and saw the lion in me finally, and now sees in my daughter what she is, and in my other daughter, he can see all those too. And he opened up his eyes and he looked at me, and when he said that it was a gorilla, I knew it right then. And when he opened up his eyes, I said, yes. And he looked at me and said, yes. And he said, now I see the lion.
Exactly. It was staring right back at me. It was literally, I went from being the human man sitting in the chair to so inside of my gorilla that when I opened my eyes and you were across from me, I saw the lion looking at me. Yeah. And this is why I want to do more. I need to experience more. Yeah. And if I don't work on it and stay fresh with it, it's just going to be untapped potential for the rest of my life.
Exactly. Yes. And that's what Celeste and I talk about a lot about, is retraining, is that your body and your ego are going to want to do the old stuff. Even though now you've hit that expansive, place, the ego and everything wants to stay where it is. It wants to do what it's doing. So it makes it hard. And then that's where breathing in and breathing out comes in. Because now you're going to experience ego stuff, but now you're not going to judge it. You don't judge it. And then with Israel on the board also, when we did his meditation, I didn't get to see his face. I wish I could have. But the energy that we felt during that time, we did a private thing, on the podcast, just him and Celeste and I. And just the energy was so amazing. Well, like it was with you.
But that can even be a more powerful thing when the person's not here.
Exactly.
Because the person's not here.
Because we're connecting through the spirit. Yes, exactly. Great point.
Yeah, that's got to be huge, because that's awesome. Probably why you're even here tonight is you felt the life-changing, eye-opening experience over the technology that we have.
Yes.
And through others guiding you through it, as you guide me through it. And I just really, I want to make my life count. I want in the areas that matter, like fatherhood, and being a good significant other, being a good just person on this earth,
loving yourself.
And that's the realest issue is if I can look inside the mirror without laughing or being like, I love you.
Yes, exactly.
Without crying and breaking down.
Exactly. But that's good to cry and break down.
Yeah.
Don't hold back tears. Tears are the water of the tree of life. And never. If you feel that emotion, you just do it. You let it be. But yeah, and then that was kind of like in the last time we did the meditation, the expressions on your face when you were feeling that expansion, but feeling like you couldn't get all the way there. But you were using your hands and pulling the energy in, it looked like, and doing all that stuff.
It's like, what is it? Like if we say we exist, but we strive for this, right?
Yes.
Or not even strive. It's just something that's there. Like you said, it's always there and it's always been there. But what is it?
Yeah.
That makes us want to ascend to, like, it's not what makes us want to. It's like, I think we get to a point where it's just who we are.
Yeah.
And how to get there.
Well, yeah, and there's no mistake in that you did this, that you came here that day and that the door opened to discuss it. And you were saying, wow, yeah, I'd like to try it. I'd like to do that.
Because I will follow you to the end of the road.
And it was, you were willing, but because you're becoming independent, which is today is Independence Day, which is celebrating your own independence, celebrating my independence, along with our country.
Yeah. That ties together.
And then now the life-changing things, because you still have to deal with ego. You have to retrain yourself.
I got to remember that word. That's key, is retrain.
Yes.
Because if I forget that, then I'm back into the old ways of thinking like that.
Yep.
So I have to retrain.
And that's when your old ways of thinking come. And if you don't think about it, if it's unconscious, then eventually you will, because if that's your intent, every day when you get up, my intent is to be aware of myself and what I'm thinking and be in control in mind. And when you do that, when you start to be the old self, you'll recognize it. And then slowly but surely, and maybe fast even now, you'll be able to catch yourself and you'll say, no, wait a minute. There's more to this than that. I don't want to be that. And then you just retrain. You talk yourself through it. Mm-hmm. But it's okay to do those things, to go back and for the ego to take control. There's no mistake in that. If it happens, it happens. And so what I always say is, at the end of the day, whatever you did was perfect. It was meant to be. So it's when you get up in the morning, you don't really plan. You just know what you need to do that day. You don't know what your brain's going to do, though, what your thoughts are going to be. You don't know how you're going to react to the day or to your people. And then, so you just catch yourself now as you become aware. And when your ego comes in the way or whatever and does its reactive thing, when you get better and better at it, you catch it and you say, no, I'm in control now. And I want love, just doing that kind of thing.
You just brought me up, not to cut you off, but you just
I want you to speak.
You just made me think of something. So I think today is 8 months and 19 days sober. And I haven't been this way for over 13, 14 years. So my spirit and soul wasn't clear of alcohol and pills and drugs for this long, for over 12 years.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that finding a center in yourself and finding peace. I'm not used to it because in that lifestyle, there's so much chaos. There's so much static and you're just always, and I think that when you're on a quest, because I've felt this peace before, but I think it's harder to feel because my mind is retraining how to be even sober, at least to be able to get through tense moments,
Exactly.
get through
Yes.
tense situations.
Yes.
And sometimes, like, if I really think about it, I want to just cry because I know there's a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And it's not even a specific thing that's happened type of pain. It's
Yes.
just an abundance of all of it.
Yeah.
But it could be a good cleansing, to let it out. But also, I have to remember what you say in retraining. I have to remember that everything's okay.
Exactly. But so I would say when you cry from love emotion,
Yeah.
in feeling the grace and the joy of the change.
That's what it would be.
Yes.
Not feeling sorry for myself,
Exactly.
cry. More like
yes.
Exactly. That's what I mean by that also, is that it wouldn't be like, oh, woe is me. It's more of just how thankful and how great it is to be here, but also still have a chance to do something about it.
But if you do cry in that woe is me way, if you do fall into that again, because you're going to breathe in, breathe out.
Because ego.
Yeah, you're going to feel that. When you do, then you have an opportunity to love that unconditionally, to realize that that's a part of you, but you say, but I'm growing past that now. I'm making different choices. We are headed for joy, a joyful life, because your life hasn't been joyful for 12 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really tough now in struggling to get yourself to this new plateau of cleanse and not relying on those kind of things anymore. So each time if you're going to cry from that kind of emotion, I say just, if you're in a place where you can just talk to the walls and know that that's where, talk to the walls about what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. And you'll feel yourself telling you everything's okay.
Yeah.
But you cry, let it cry. If you feel the tears, you have to. And I tell anybody that holds back on crying, you make a big mistake. You've got to cry. You've got to cry. If you feel that kind of thing, whether it's a painful cry or a joyful cry, you've got to cry. Otherwise, your tree is not going to water, and it's going to take much longer.
Yeah.
So, having had the experience now, do you think you could go back?
I think I could. At this point where we reached just now?
Yeah.
If you were to...
No. I mean, do you think you could go back now to your old ways? Do you think you could take the blue pill now after you had the red pill?
Oh, honestly, I believe at this point that I don't even think, and I can't bank this, but I can say that I know that I don't have any chance at any kind of a better experience in life if I go back to that. And I think that in those moments when maybe that drink or that drug is appealing to me, it's going to literally have to be something where action is the key to call to get out of self, because that temporary moment, it can't destroy my life again.
Exactly.
Because there's no more time to waste.
No, there is no more. Yeah. And you're in his life, Shanzi's life, and that's what we're calling him, Shanzi. That's what it will always be. In Shanzi's life, he's got everything's wonderful, right? Everything is wonderful. That's the only thing that was in the way.
Yeah.
Was the mental challenges and the alcohol and things like that. And so there was a struggle even after the first meditation. Even after the first time, there's been struggle, but of course there has to be. You can't just change overnight when you've had, at least 12 years of training this, and you're older than that. So in your childhood and stuff, you've had your childhood and whatever happenings in that.
And I think another thing is, you're right. Cause everything doesn't always have to be so dark.
Exactly.
But like when I think that when you do know better of yourself, you can put pressure on yourself, but maybe not a pressure that's like a things that are fathomable, that because the pressure is not like, oh, I want to feel pressure and stress. It's more like you're just like, I don't know. I think the whole retraining yourself is the key to not feel those kinds of ways. Like you have to be like, whoa, it's a beautiful life because I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I'm here existing. I have, like I'm surrounded by people who love me, care about me. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, you're right in a place right now where you can be in heaven, basically, in your
right.
life, your whole life.
So why would I want to be a prisoner of myself?
Paradise. Exactly.
Why be a prisoner
Yes.
of yourself when you kind of have the key to be free?
Exactly. Yes. And when you felt that freedom, and I guarantee you can't go back. You can breathe in and breathe out, but no matter how far you go, you can't stay there anymore.
No.
You're always going to come back. It's going to either be kicking and screaming or it's going to be graceful.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're 1,000,000% right.
Yeah.
But I think that time being is like, you're right. Like I need to flip the script on the way that I was thinking, because I know that if I am what I think, then everything I tell myself is who I am and what I am.
Yeah.
And I used to be able to manifest. So deep down behind my eyes, inside myself, I could manifest how I want to feel, how I'm not how I want it, how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to do this. But it's like, I think the hardest part sometimes is being in that moment while you're retraining. Because while you're retraining, you're still telling your old self things. So that voice is knocking out another voice to get to the real voice of reason. Like, I don't have to fight so hard.
Right.
Just be Shanzy, man. Let the moment be.
Yes. Yes. And it's odd that Celeste isn't able to be here because he's got such, you have so much in common, but maybe that's why it's you and I this time. Then next time it can be with Celeste, and then Celeste can share, because we talk about the retraining all the time, and we do that for a reason, because it's really important, because we're all breathing in and out still. It's just, for me, it's not extreme anymore, but I'm still human.
Mm-hmm.
I still get frustrated. I still have pains, I still get intense and things like that, but I don't do it from a point of feeling like I did something wrong or that I'm bad. I just say, that's me, laugh,
Yeah.
just say, okay, I did that, and so what?
Well, it's crazy just being around you right now. Like, it's reminding me. So you're making me with that. I feel familiar to the fact that I know how to live. I know how to be at peace at times, but it's through you, and I'm looking at you and hearing you, and it's just like, I remember that I can be that.
Yep.
So I don't know, before I got down here with you and everything, it's like I felt in a whole bunch of just pressure and whatever.
At first,
I felt like,
got a headache.
Yeah, exactly. To the point where I had a headache, and it was like I just wasn't free at the time. I was like being a prisoner of myself, and slowly giving the ego the key, or whatever it was, the key.
And the ego was resisting. It didn't want to do this.
It didn't. No. Hey, that's true.
Yeah.
And then the things that had to take place first, the Celeste popping up on the phone.
Yes.
Then
that really, that put the icing on it. Yes.
It did.
It did for me too.
But I think another thing is, when it comes to this kind of stuff, is us meeting each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just a once a week, once a month type thing. I think it has to be continual, because I'm so new to it again. And if I don't have that reminder, because it's easy to say I'm going to, I can feel good for the time being when I leave, because it's fresh. But when you get back out into the world and life happens, I still have to have that control to be like, I'm striving for better, and just to kind of check myself.
Yeah.
And you can't do it alone.
Yeah. And Celeste can say the same thing, that when we do this podcast, it lifts us up, no matter what's going on, because he's in the trenches still too,
Right.
He's still got to, be out there, and he's in a really horrible place. So to speak.
For real?
He's in Silicon Valley. He's in, really heavy stuff. And so anyway, so it always lifts us up. So that's why, we do it. And it's part of the retraining, because during his week, he's got to deal with people, but he's doing it now from a much more loving experience, and he's standing his ground when he needs to, and all of that stuff. So it's really cool to watch.
Oh my goodness. I just want to thank you though. Like, I think,
thank Shanzy, because Shanzy is the one that brought you here. It's your soul.
She's really like, she really, you know what? She talks to me throughout the day.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be going through my day and
That's who you're talking to all the time when you
right. Okay, yeah. Okay, so then if that's the case, then okay, say there's Shanzi, there's the inner being, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that okay, so what would I'm asking for advice here. So say I go into that stinking thinking when I'm like if you can
Yeah.
see my face and head right now, I'm shaking
Yeah.
my head and making a face because it's like you got to snap out of it. But if there's no one there to snap you out of it, what do you do?
Exactly. Yeah.
You just ride it out, or do you really train yourself to
Yeah.
believe what is true?
Exactly. But the thing is, you can pick up a phone or you can do a text or whatever.
But I'm the worst at this.
I know, of course.
Because
Yes.
I always know what's best for me, and I know I need to do it, but
Yeah.
it's like I get so stuck inside
And
myself where it's not that I don't want to do it.
Right. But that's your ego, and that's a good thing because wanting to do it yourself is really awesome.
Yeah.
Because you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's you that's doing it. I'm just a vessel, or I'm here, I help. But I'm doing what I'm told to do by you, by your soul. So I just help with that. There's no mistake in anything of happening anywhere. So it's you becoming independent, but until you do retrain, when you need help, you've got to, you don't have to, but it would be better if you just send a text and say, okay, I'm being human or something.
Yeah.
And then I can text you back or whatever. And then if we can talk, we talk.
That's the work part. And I think that's a huge thing why we needed to do this tonight, because I can't look the lion in the eye and say this one more time, because it's not that I don't want to speak to the lion or I don't have time. It's I get to this point in my ego or my ways of thinking that are unhealthy, and I don't take the road that's easier, or what do you call it? I don't take the path that's going to literally design for me to take, because I will still go against the grain because that's who I am. And or not, if I tell myself that's who I am, I want to make that's who I was, a person that went against the grain instead of taking the path easier traveled, right?
Right, exactly. And now,
because it texts you like, I'm feeling human.
Yeah.
You're going to send something back that I can feed off of.
Yeah. And it'll probably say, okay, good.
Yeah. And I'm like, why couldn't I just do that?
But what that does if I just say, okay, good, because I have no judgment about it, it's what you need to do or whatever at the time. But when I say that to you, you're going to click. It's going to click in you. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I remember now.
Yeah. This is real stuff.
And that's retraining. And then you talk to yourself and say, okay, we don't want to do that anymore. We're going to do this now.
Yeah.
And then again, like you say, so if you join the podcast and at least come in for a little while, a few minutes or something like that, that will feed you, and that's up to you. And I know, but since you're breaking the ice here, I think it'll be easier now. And so, hopefully that you'll do that, because we would love to have that, and that will help you grow. And also I give the same invitation to Israel, because he's done the same thing. And it just really helps to talk about it, doesn't it? Doesn't it, like, just bring it all around?
Mm-hmm.
Putting yourself out there in the public, even though it's anonymous, it's still, you're searching and you're finding and you're growing.
That's everything that I'm feeling right now, what you just said. If I had my eyes closed while he was talking, and searching and finding and growing. And I'm finding to believe that I don't need to put so much unwanted stress and pressure on myself because it takes away from living.
Exactly. Yes.
And I'm shaking my head.
And see how simple it is, though? The answer. You know that other stuff is like distraction, and it's like, it doesn't bring anything positive. I mean, it does, though, because you grow from it. There's no mistake in anything. You got to have the negative and the positive until you come to the balance when the light lights up.
Do you believe in like a being truly accepting and forgiving themselves?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a part of like growth, but really meaning your acceptance and forgiving yourself, which can come to the part where you say you love yourself?
Oh, yes. Well, no, I do. I have when I first started, when I was told that Celeste and I were going to do this, back then, my ego was gone. but I was still human. I still had to be human. I still had to fight for things. I still had to do things. I still had to earn a living, things like that, because, it's a process. Mine took 30 some years, but now you don't have to take that long because there's an energy here that's helping, assisting.
It is assisting.
Yeah. And, like we say, there's no mistake you're sitting here right now. You wouldn't be here if this wasn't meant to be and if it wasn't important, for you. And we're sharing this publicly, and that's more for you and me than it is for the public, but if somebody in the public hears this, know that there is more, and that you can find it and you can touch it, and that you are worthy. You are worthy, right?
I'm feeling a lot of pain turning into joy right now.
Yes.
Like remembering like that little inner child deep inside you who just wants to be loved and be nurtured, but also, like it's just so deep within, it can go back to the inner child. And my childhood was like, I'm not going to get deep, but I think a lot of us are a product of how we grow up and what we are. But I think deep down inside, I just, being loved is by others, but loving yourself is huge. Who you have in your life.
Yeah. And you'll find that if you don't love yourself, you really aren't going to experience the love from others.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, don't judge not in the Bible, because you'll be judged at whatever measure you meet. So if you're not loving yourself, then you can only receive love from others to the extent that you can give to yourself.
Yeah.
So basically, that love from others only becomes like a little Band-Aid that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change. It doesn't do anything.
So what you call that would be not a false sense, but you can't use others to fuel your happiness.
Exactly.
Because that's like you said, it's temporary.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of people, like, to use Facebook or something like that as an example. People go on Facebook and they think because people on there think that they're this certain way because they're not telling the truth, then they think everything's okay.
Right.
And that's what happens when, if you're faking yourself and you get other people to believe that you're okay, you're not okay still, right?
No.
Because they believe you're okay doesn't mean you're okay.
The second they get off that phone, they're with themselves.
Exactly.
Who are you with? You're with yourself. Yeah. So why do you got to be something to everybody else? Because if you're being yourself, others are going to love that anyway.
Exactly.
Because that's when the realness and the authenticity of another attaches another.
Yep.
And, I just, I don't think there's a mistake why I met you, but I think here's the part in my life that no matter how many treatments or how many self-helps or counseling, if I don't do this work wholeheartedly.
And it's easy work, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be work at this point. At this point, it would be. So I get
the only work is making the choice.
There it is. But I think, yeah, exactly. See how I always have to make things so complicated that are the easiest thing in the world.
Yes.
So that's what I mean. I think that just through living and not making it work anymore, because it doesn't have to be work.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, it's still actions that have to be taken to keep yourself at that balance.
Retraining.
That balance is real inside yourself.
Yeah, and it's just retraining, though. It's just retraining that you, first of all, to understand.
You should always send me that message, not to interrupt, but just say retrain.
Okay.
Like at least in the morning and then mid-afternoon and night.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I will.
Retrain. And then it can, because who knows what I'm going to be going through in that moment.
Exactly.
Where retraining is all I needed to do.
Yes. And see, it's unconscious when you go into that state, right? When you go into the ego state or the human, right?
Oh, right.
And you're feeling it. It's unconscious. You don't even realize you're doing it. You just do it, right? So that's it. All you need is a little cue, something to wake you up or get you up. Start your day with retrain. Okay, yes, I'm retraining to love myself, to realize that I am worthy, to know that I'm worthy. And everybody is worthy. Everybody is. And when I sit with you in meditation, and when I sat with Israel in meditation, and even though he was in a distance, we weren't in a distance. But that it was so powerful to me, because I feel your whole soul. So I know what you are. And I know why, though, you've had that life stuff, because your soul is ready to light up and go, to fly.
Right.
And so, but you had to be anchored because there's something more for you here. There's more olive feeding to get more lamp filled, but your lamp is pretty full.
Right.
So it's just now a matter of trimming it, getting it to glow.
Right.
And all it is as simple as just not letting your body control you anymore.
Right. Man. Speaking of it's like in this moment, it's something that you never want to end, because there are certain things that have to end, but it's like, I feel at this moment that I could actually do it. If you feel it, you could take me into a meditation.
Yeah, let's
if you
go
want to
ahead and do
meditate,
that.
because
Yeah.
I think that's what, just out of this moment, it's calling me to, I need to hit that piece.
Okay, and we'll start it while we're on here, and if we need to, we'll get off of this. We got to go see the fireworks anyway.
Yeah.
But if it's like if this is a distraction now, being on a microphone.
No, it's calling to you right now to
Okay.
me do this. Like, okay. I'm telling you, like, my mind, my body is.
Okay. All right, then just now here.
Like, it literally like took itself there.
Get comfortable.
I'm kind of like, I want to be excited.
Yeah.
And not anything else, because the energy is so drawn in that it's telling me to just let all the tension and anything that's not supposed to be there go.
Yeah.
And just be.
Yep. Exactly. And just get yourself relaxed. Take yourself to that place. Breathe in through your nose and let it out slowly through your mouth, and just relax. And we're going to go to the highest level and go into the red. So just relax for that. Going to go up to the top of the mountain. Going to go back to where you were seeing that spot that you felt like you couldn't quite get into. Ready? Okay. And since you've been in the theta already, and we've done the hand levitation thing, the hand, to the cheek, you don't need to do that this time. Well, actually, go ahead and just lift your hand, touch your cheek, and see the red. And now put your hand down. See red? Okay, you're at 7 cycles per second. And it's all red right now. All red, because you're in, and tell yourself, I'm in theta vibration now.
I'm in theta vibration now.
Yes. And now just see the red and feel the red. Okay, and so you are at 7 cycles per second. You are at the 7th heaven state. The blood of Christ is what it's called. I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and you're going to center. 1, 2, 3. Center. And now I want the red to turn to white, to whiteness, to where it's kind of like got a little bit of a gray tint.
Yep, we're there.
Okay, so you're in the white. Now let's go back to where you were the last time. What were you feeling and seeing when we were getting your soul, and we were having you inside it in gold, seeing a gold tint? Do you remember that? And you can move your hands and stuff, do whatever you need. But do you remember that last time when we were doing the soul?
Actually, I do, because when I do this,
yeah,
you can feel
the golden light.
Yeah,
see, so his soul wouldn't let him see it outside of himself. It wanted him to be inside it. So what we were trying to do last time is for him to feel inside his soul, to see the golden light that we become when we ascend, when we're an evolved soul. But then he went into this really expansive place, and he was thinking, you were kind of feeling limited, right?
Yes.
Yes. So now don't be limited this time. You see that spot that you were trying to get into last time?
I feel I feel more open, but like I'm telling you, like, I think for this to happen, I don't know if this is going to be the time, but I'm
Okay.
telling you, this is going to be like a long one.
Okay.
It's going to be when we're like, I'm talking like so far within that this body is just going to be chilling and my inner self's going to be out here
Yes.
just
Yes.
rolling.
Yes.
And I think that I know that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. So for the right now, just feel it. Feel it. If you have any questions or anything about it okay, so like maybe ask, okay, so I'm here. I choose to experience this. Just say it to yourself. You can just say it to yourself. I choose to experience this. Okay, so do you have a question about it? Can you ask your soul something? Do you have some kind of question on what you think is happening?
How come you won't let me, or how come you give me a sense that there's more
And not let you there.
and not let me go there? Why am I feeling like there's, like right now, I feel peace, but it's like, this is more of it, it's unexplainable, but it'll be life changing when I open my eyes from it.
Uh-huh.
But why can't I right now? Well, I think first of all, because of the distractions around us upstairs and things of that nature. But
Right, and they're leaving now. So.
But it's so deep within. But it's also like right here. So.
Yeah. But also because you still have retraining to do, right? A little more retraining. You're ready, but it's just like you have some more body stuff to get through, right? I mean, I can feel that. I can feel the expansiveness, but I can also feel the body. But it's right there. He's there because he got the name. I know Shanzi is the name. But for some reason, you're not letting yourself. You think you're limited. Don't see yourself as limited now. Say, I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm aware. I can feel it. I can be a part of it.
I am a part of it.
You are. You are. And then you're already there, though. See? So there's really nothing else to experience because you are feeling everything, right? You're feeling all of it. That's all there is. And you're in your soul. You're feeling the gold, right? You see it. So you're already there. There's nothing more you need to do. See, that's it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shanzi. So Shanzi's telling me that it's not that you're being held back or not allowed to open it. It's because you don't think that you can.
And that goes back to the always going against the grain when I don't have to.
Exactly.
Because it's okay.
It's
So
that simple because you're in it. You're there. You're feeling it all.
Right.
There's nothing else more to feel. Just to explore that now.
Yeah.
That's all there's left.
It's like beautiful.
Yes. Isn't that? It's more than. I mean, you can't even. There's no word.
Beautiful is underrated.
There's no
for
word.
that.
Yeah, there's no word. You
But
can't explain it.
From the moment from we walked down here to now, I must say that I feel comfort. I feel at peace. I feel love. I just feel like.
And I see it. I see it in your eyes. I see it in your face.
I feel like a lot of weight's just been lifted, and I didn't even really do anything.
No, but all you have to do is realize that we block ourselves. Okay, why can't I touch that? Because you're not allowing yourself to know that you already know. You're not letting yourself experience what you already know. But you are experiencing it. You're just not believing it.
Celeste is here.
No, he's not. Oh, he is. Celeste.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi, Celeste. Thank you. Did you see that picture? Now I wish I had the headphones.
Yeah, it'd be nice to talk to you. But yeah, we just said
that picture was also, wasn't it, Celeste? So Celeste is in. Celeste has come into the show. We don't have headphones on though, so he's got to type to us. and I can't do 2 headphones right now on this, so that'll be a little bit of an issue. But next week, though, right?
Yeah,
Next week.
yeah, that's no doubt. And I just want to say, you know,
He can't find his headphones either.
I just want to say, as everybody's going down there, like, you know, we're gonna join them, but I literally
So Celeste, man, you set this whole thing up because your name was on that freaking ad.
yeah, for reals.
Because you were here. He wanted you here and you couldn't be. And so we're here.
But whenever we do get to cross paths, like next week, I believe that the roads that we're traveling will it'll be in sync.
Yes.
Regardless of.
Yeah, there's no mistake, of course. He knows that. He knows that.
But basically what you missed right now is I'm at a place where words can't even explain. It's just.
So he just went into Theta and he felt everything, but he was thinking that there was more that he needed to do. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He was in it. So he got it. He's got his soul's name, which is Shanzi. He just went and felt his soul. He could see the golden light around him being in his soul. And now he knows that he's already there.
I'm the type to overcomplicate the simplest things. I will say I can complicate the simplest things. I'll complicate. And
yes, he's going to be a call-in. Yes, I've got him set up on his phone. So next week he's going to call in and we'll finish this. And we want Israel to join also as soon as possible. Israel, just think about it, okay? Because I think it will be healing for you. Right? Isn't this healing for you? Isn't this like lifting you up right now?
It's like, yeah, I needed this retrain because you said, like, if I'm already familiar with it, I just had to retrain to now just be again. And it's like, I can't pass it through this technology to you guys to feel what I feel, but it's just everything makes sense.
Yes.
It's purposeful, and I just want to enjoy the rest of our evening now.
Yes. And Celeste said, ego will be done. All God, always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, for sure. And that's what it is. That's what he just realized. And of course, it was Shanzi told me to tell him because
the weight has been lifted.
He wasn't listening.
The weight has been lifted, and it's crazy because since you just got on, if you re-listen, you'll see why we're at where we're at right now. Because I'm at a point of where, like, I think this is where I would be comfortable being with me, being done at this point with tonight with me.
And he's been asking to do this. Yes, thank you, buddy. He's been asking to do this, right? And he asked to do it today, and then he got a headache, and he didn't feel good. But then, and he didn't have water earlier, and we're out in the sun and stuff, so that was kind of part of that. But so he got hydrated and took a couple of Tylenol. And he comes to me and says, I'm feeling golden. I'm feeling 100%, man. So we went ahead and put this together, came on to do this, and here we are. And here's now another life-changing, which I just happened to title this life-changing.
It'd be cool if if someone were to just listen, or someone were to, just click on it or something, and it could, change their whole, like, make them feel what just happened to me.
Read that.
God's steps allowed you to catch up to your future.
Yes.
I agree with that. And
just did. Amen. So Amen. I can't wait until we can all talk.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. So next Sunday for sure. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. That was very important. And it was Shanzi wanted you to be here in the beginning for the whole time for some, because he feels something.
And you popped up. Oh yeah. We actually spoke of you, and not to cut you off, the lion, but we spoke of you because to my knowledge, we had a similar struggle in our past that we no longer I mean, it's all there. I have to explain it, but there's a lot of similarities that we would have with each other. But at the end of the day, like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm at, and I just want to thank the Lion for helping guide me through this little session just now, and I'm ready to just be and enjoy the rest of this night. To be honest with you,
And we're gonna go watch fireworks now.
but with a whole different perspective that I have now.
Now he's gonna be watching fireworks, boy.
Enjoying them, enjoying the fireworks, enjoying the night.
Yes, we know. Yes. Brothers from the start. Yes. Amen. For sure. We know them. Yes, we know. We definitely know, just like Phil in Israel, same thing. All of that. And having Giraffe Heart joining us, and so awesome. Okay, so we're going to go to watch the fireworks. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Israel, for showing up also. And you came in pretty early tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, you were here before we started.
Yeah. So right on. And so I'll talk to you during the week, Celeste. And for sure, next week, we're going to be doing this with the three of us for sure. And maybe we can get Israel to join us some too.
And I just want to say, peace be with you. And, happy 4th of July, and peace be with you guys.
Yes. Good night, everyone. Anybody that has listened, thank you for listening. I will publish this maybe tonight, maybe not, by tomorrow sometime. If anybody wants to re-listen, this was a really fun show with a special guest, Shanzi, who has recently had some huge life-changing experiences and has now just kind of hit the pinnacle, and now the retraining continues. Retraining. So we got the retraining. So good night, everybody. And everybody have a good night or day, wherever you are.
And stay blessed and stay safe.
Yes, and realize that everyone is worthy, and this can happen for everyone. Thank you. Happy 4th, everybody.